Good morning. Oh, we're there. Boy, that was loud.
You've got volume this morning.
Yeah, I have volume this morning.
To eat much of your breakfast.
Okay. Well, good morning and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting. And we appreciate your attendance, and for the viewers, we do thank you for tuning in. For introductions, on my left is Commissioner Dib Shore and Commissioner Larry Hudkins. And on my right is Vice Chair and Commissioner Todd Wilchin and Commissioner Bill Avery. And I'm Commissioner Roma Amundson, Chair of the Board. And then assisting us this morning, we have Dave Durbin from the County Attorney's Office, Kelly Lundgren, and Dan Nolte of the County Clerk's Office, and Carrie Egan of the County Administrative Office. And will you join me now in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and well, thank you so very much for joining in. And Mr. Clerk, will you begin the agenda, please?
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of our written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approve the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, May 17th, 2016.
I move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of last week's meeting. Are there any corrections? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Abstain.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 abstention. Number 2 are claims. Approval of all claims processed through May 24th, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve all claims processed through today. Are there any corrections or additions? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 are special presentations. Recognition of Lancaster County, Nebraska Association of County Officials Scholarship winner, Josie Miner, daughter of Kendall Reinhardt, Lancaster County Corrections Record Technician, and Larry Dix, NACO Executive Director.
Okay, please come forward.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Larry.
My name is Larry Dix, and I'm Executive Director of the Nebraska Association of County Officials, and I'm here today to make a scholarship presentation. A little bit of background, NACO started presenting scholarships in 1999, and at that point in time we started offering 6 scholarships to students who are employees, children, or a child of a step-parent. And over the years, we have expanded that to now where we offer 12 $1,000 scholarships each year to students who are going to attend higher education at some university, some college within the boundaries of the state of Nebraska. And over I just went back and looked over the last 8 years. I'm very, very pleased to let you know that 5 students from Lancaster County have received these scholarships over just the last 8 years. And I think it's a wonderful tradition that Lancaster County has started in the fact that you give me the opportunity to come and present this to the students. And so with that, I want to present to Josie Miner a scholarship on behalf of the Nebraska Association of County Officials, $1,000 scholarship. Josie?
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Josie, I think we would love to hear what your plans are.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. This fall, I will be starting my college career at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. I'm going to be studying pre-med, and one day I hope to be a great orthopedic surgeon. I'd like to thank the association for this fantastic scholarship.
Okay.
And tell us a little bit about your activities in high school and maybe what prompted your interest in medicine.
In high school, I was actually mostly in band took up most of my high school career. I wanted to go into pre-med because as a child I broke a lot of bones.
Oh, okay.
And so I decided that really interests me in fixing the bones and everything.
And Mom, how about you? Tell us a little bit about, I guess, sending your daughter off to college. I've done that. It's a hard thing to do, but it looks like you've raised an amazing young lady, and I know you've got some coworkers here that are in support that I'd like you to introduce as well.
Several. I mean, what, 6, 7 of them. My supervisor, Virginia. She's a lot of support. Josie is very strong-minded, very driven, everything. She's a good kid. She is my baby, so I'll be an empty nester.
Mm-hmm.
I am kind of looking forward to that. I'm very proud of her, and I thank the association for the scholarship also. It's a lot of help.
Bill?
Is this scholarship renewable, Larry? Is it just a one-time $1,000 or is it annually?
It is a one-time $1,000, and then next year we'll reopen the applications, and so then we'll have another 12 students come in. We balance those. NACO is divided into 5 geographical districts, and so we balance those scholarships around the state. I think this year we probably had 30-some applicants that applied.
That'll cover your books.
Well, maybe you could get a lot of books online, though.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, congratulations and best wishes in your college career. And I think you'll find it a very rewarding and an exciting time.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Next is recognition of county employees' service anniversaries. If you'd like, I'll go ahead and.
Yeah, why don't you
these.
read those off, please?
Okay. This would be for 10 years of service. Alice Lauer, County Assessor. Eric Miller, County Attorney. Crystal Floyd, Clerk of the District Court. Casimira Ramirez, Clerk of the District Court. Julie Diller, County Sheriff. Dennis Guthard, County Sheriff. Diane Kegley, County Sheriff. Michael Pashong, County Sheriff. Travis Schroer, County Sheriff. Michelle Sewell, County Sheriff. Christina Collins, General Assistance. Cynthia Covert, General Assistance. Lisa Molinoff, General Assistance. Jody Goff, County Treasurer. Matthew Hollins, County Treasurer. Tina Shills, County Treasurer. John Jorgensen, Public Defender. Markisha Rollerson, Mental Health Crisis Center. Lawrence Ackery, Property Management. Marvin Tejerel, Property Management. Steve Slapnicka, County Engineer. Keith White, County Engineer. Darrell LaPointe Jr., Youth Services Center. James Ashley Jr., Corrections. Joshua Danley, Corrections. Kelly Ward, Corrections. Next is 15 years of service. Robert Colgrove, County Assessor. Patrick Doherty, County Assessor. Cindy Edwards, County Assessor. Patrick Faden, County Assessor. Amy Hansen, County Assessor. Tim Seelock, County Assessor. Beverly Enyart, County Attorney. Connie McCune, County Attorney. Tori Korkowski, County Clerk. Karen Campus, Clerk of the District Court. Jeffrey Moeller, County Sheriff. Jerry Woody, County Sheriff. Betsy Bessert, County Treasurer. Candace Meredith, County Treasurer. Kathleen Koviak, County Treasurer. Stephen Babcock, Property Management. Paul Monson, Property Management. Troy Monson, Property Management. Kristen Draper, District Court. Chris Fisser, County Engineer. James Shatosky, County Engineer. Scott Bykirk, Corrections. Kayla Howard, Corrections. Eric Hutzel, Corrections. Lynn Kemper, Corrections. For 20 years of service, it's Nancy Johnson, County Attorney. Troy Bailey, County Sheriff. Robert Soflin, County Sheriff. Deborah Camerad, County Treasurer. Hugh By, Property Management. George Hammer, Property Management. Brian Schwabauer, County Engineer. Donnie Brandt, Corrections. Stephen Swanson, Corrections. And for 25 years of service, Norb Aguinaldo, County Assessor. Janet Becker, County Attorney. Patrick Condon Jr., County Attorney. Joseph Kelly, County Attorney. Jeff Mathers, County Attorney. Tim Januki, County Clerk. James Baird, County Sheriff. Shauna Baird, County Sheriff. Thomas Brookhauser, County Sheriff. Angelo Caceres, County Sheriff. Andrew Miller, County Sheriff. Alan Ullman, County Sheriff. Susan Ross, County Treasurer. Christy Egger Brown, Public Defender. Daniel Landkammer, Property Management. Scott Robinson, County Engineer. David Caulfield, Corrections. Thomas Korecki, Corrections. Kenneth Prey, Corrections. And for 30 years of service, Cliff Bybee, County Assessor. Janice Lepofsky, County Attorney. Sally Schrader, Clerk District Court. Joseph Gear, County Sheriff. Michael Jeffers, County Sheriff. Curtis Renner, Property Management. Eldon Forsgren, County Engineer. Jeffrey Winch, County Engineer. Joseph Anderson, Corrections. Brett Wheeler, Corrections. And for 35 years of service, Ardeen Ott, County Assessor. Douglas Sear, County Attorney. Joanne Jensen, County Sheriff. Gary Juliffs, County Sheriff. Michael Novacek, County Sheriff. Michael Schofield, County Sheriff. Christine Grunman, County Treasurer. David Drevo, Property Management. Lloyd Huskenvelt, County Engineer. Philip Hughes, County Engineer. James Plozak, County Engineer. And for 40 years of service, Lynn Forsgren, County Engineer, and Steve Spader, County Engineer.
And we did have a breakfast this morning where we recognized all these employees. And again, just for everyone who may be watching, we do sincerely thank the employees for their dedicated service, and we wish them well in the future.
Okay, next is number 4, new business. This is a resolution in a matter of transferring appropriations from the general fund miscellaneous budget to the general fund county court and general assistance budgets. The transfer amount to county court is $42,000, and the transfer amount to general assistance is $220,000.
All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer. This resolution here today is just kind of the first step of us cleaning up our current year budget that we're in right now. Our fiscal year ends June 30th, so the way that we set up each budget, you know, we adopt it and we do a mid-year budget retreat, and then we take a look to see maybe what departments and which budgets maybe need to be amended before the end of the fiscal year. This is probably part 1 of 2. This one comes before you right now because of the budget that's still allotted within these departments. But for example, the county court is down to about 4.85%, and general assistance is down to about 2.38%. I will bring a resolution in June sometime to clean up a few of the smaller items, but these are probably the couple bigger items that we need to take care of now. So for example, general assistance. General assistance is one of our budgets that the last couple years we have tried to squeeze down at the beginning of the budget process, hoping that we would have a year that costs could be cut. We have found out the last couple years that has not come to fruition, so we do need to amend this by $220,000, and it's pretty close to what we amended it by last year also. The county court comes down to we also like to try to squeeze down attorney costs, attorney fees, hoping again that the year will maybe go to the better for us. Again, it did not, so we do need to amend that thing by $42,000. Both of these departments are within the general fund, so we do have a contingency set up in there. So what we will do here is we will transfer from the contingency into these two department budgets to cover their costs to wrap out the fiscal year.
Larry?
I think the one thing that's, we know the judicial branch, and as you say, we've deliberately, tried to hold down the outside attorney's fees. I think what's more troubling to me is the last several years, the increase we've seen in general assistance. And this year is nearly $250,000. Is there any explanation why last year and this year that we're supposedly in a good economy, low unemployment, and yet these general assistance costs continue? And it sounds like maybe you got help coming up here.
Well, and I'll have Sarah kind of address this a little bit, but I think it also goes back to our costs are really not that much different, other than probably 3 years ago we had a kind of a good year where our costs were maybe $2.2 million.
More contained.
So when we started trying to figure out how do we balance our budget up front, well, hey, that number was lower last year, so let's drop it down to there and kind of go with that. Well, what happened is that 1 year amount tended to be just one out of the ordinary, and so we're still at probably close to 2.4, 2.5, and in all reality, that's probably the norm. That 1 year that we were hoping for was just out of the ordinary, and now we're back to dealing with the norm.
Did we analyze what we did in that year to make it out of the norm or to contain that budget?
No, I mean, general assistance for the most part is a tough budget to actually guesstimate for.
Because
I mean,
we're the last resort
Yeah.
when people are down and out.
right. So, but Sarah,
When looking, and Sarah Hoyle, Director of General Assistance, Human Services, when looking through the budget and seeing what type of expenditures exceeded previous years, there were two major factors that I was able to pull out. One was we had a client who applied for general assistance and was going through the process of applying for SSI, SSDI, and he was terminally ill. He spent 3 weeks in the ICU before he passed away and was not eligible for SSI, SSDI because of the timing. That cost the county over $100,000. There's also an increase in the prescription meds and what we're paying, and that was the other thing. That budget has also exceeded years past. So, and we're trying a few different things this coming year to try to bring that budget back down.
And in the general assistance meetings, I know that they've worked very hard on this meds portion of it, and thank you for your efforts.
Okay, any further questions?
I will move approval of the resolution.
Second.
Moved and second that we approve this resolution. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4B is approval of recommendations from the Lincoln-Lancaster County Joint Budget Committee for Juveniles Justice Prevention Fund request.
Good morning again. This fund is general funds. It is for juvenile justice prevention in our county. And so agencies, nonprofit agencies, are asked to apply based on needs that they have in serving our juveniles in the community. And when looking through here, and I'll tell you a little bit about the process too, we have a group, a stakeholder group of individuals who are part of the system. We have the director of detention who sits on this committee. We also have a captain with the Lincoln Police Department, the center team where most of our juveniles are interacting at. We also have the chief of probation, Lori Gregg, sits on this committee. There's the county attorney who's on it, and then we also have Lincoln Public Schools we've added this year too. So it's a committee that knows what's happening in the juvenile justice system, is familiar with the needs of our kids and the needs in the community to address those risks. Looking through here, some of the projects that we're excited about, we had a lot of new individuals at the table this year, which is always excited to invite new agencies and to get them engaged in our community and in helping kids. And when looking through here, some of the new agencies at the table with new programs, the YMCA with their teen night, a way to keep kids busy on Friday nights, encouraging them to go to the Y, to do sports, swim, that kind of thing. The Bay, we're excited to bring them on board as a partnering agency. The Bay has become a drop-in center for the city of Lincoln. It's a skating park, but then they're also doing different things for kids as far as prevention and after hours and so forth. And then we have some other agencies that we've continued our partnership with, to include Talented 10th at the Malone Center. And again, Talented 10th is for high-risk kids. It was originally targeted towards our African American kids for a after-school type of club, but it's open to everybody. And so we encourage kids to take part in that. And then we've also partnered again with Cedars for our emergency shelter. Another new agency too, I guess I failed to mention earlier, was the Asian Center. And although we've partnered with them in the past to do different things, this is a new partnership where they'll be serving Yazidi kids in our community. And with the growing Yazidi population, we were excited to have them at the table in offering this program for us. So, any questions on any of the programs?
Bill?
Thank you, Sarah. I noticed that you recommend $400,000 total.
Yes.
The requests, that, however, were almost 926,000. So, were you limited by the amount of money you had available, or were these judgment calls based on the quality of the request?
Both. We were limited with the amount that was available, but this committee met for almost an entire day to go over these applications. So there was a lot of thought and a lot of discussion around the quality of services being provided. And there were some of the partners, the stakeholders around that table, just were very intimate that they wanted those funded, and we weren't able to fund them from this pot. And so I'm going back into community aid to try to make adjustments and see if the Crime Commission will allow us to do sub-grant adjustments to fund additional partners. So, but I do, the $400,000, everybody is very appreciative of it, and you all should be commended for offering that to the community for juveniles.
I know a lot of times on these committees, you try to give every applicant something,
Yes,
but there are several here that get zero.
yes.
So that must have been a financial decision, because I look at these requests and I think, yeah, that sounds like a good program.
Yeah, and a lot of it too went back to the quality. There's also, because I sat on various tables in the community, funding tables, there also came into play where we know that this particular, because sometimes nonprofit agencies will apply at several different tables, hoping that one of them will fund them. And so there's a lot of discussions with other funders on, are you funding this? Are you funding that? And a lot of these, where you see zeros, other ones we're picking up. So it's a collaboration that way with other agencies too.
I will move approval of the recommendations.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the recommendations from the JBC for the Juvenile Justice Prevention Fund. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. C is a recommendation from the purchasing agent and county engineer to award and execute a purchase order for one half-ton four-wheel drive pickup truck to Gene Steffi Chrysler Jeep Dodge. The total amount of the order is $26,474.
Good morning.
County Engineer's Office. This item and the next item are three vehicles that we had budgeted for. The pickup is gonna go to a maintenance superintendent, and then his will be handed down. And we'll be getting rid of a 1996 vehicle that has nearly 190,000 miles on it. The two utility vehicles are replacing two Suburbans, which the utility vehicles really work better for surveying and construction, and they're gonna replace one of the Suburbans, which we then will get rid of an older 96,000 mile one. and one of the old Suburbans will be put into service with a maintenance position that's just gonna kind of roam the county. So, if you have any other questions,
Okay.
I would move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the purchase order for one half-ton four-wheel drive pickup. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. D is a recommendation from the purchasing agent and a county engineer to award and execute a purchase order for two one-ton single rear wheel, full-size four-wheel drive crew cab truck chassis and two utility bodies to Gene Steffi Chrysler Jeep Dodge and LCL Truck Equipment, Inc. The amount of the order is $62,886 to Gene Steffi Chrysler Jeep Dodge and $17,843 to LCL Truck Equipment, Inc.
Move approval.
I'll second it, but I'd like to have the purchasing agent come up if he would, please. Bob, appreciate you coming up. I need a little help with this. I'm looking here at the Husker Auto Group of Lincoln for the bed and the crew cab truck chassis of $81,199.54. But yet it appears that the bid has been given to Gene Steffi Chrysler Jeep Dodge out of Fremont for $82,876. Could you explain that, please?
No, I can't. Sharon Mulder handled this purchase, and so I'd have to get back with her, and we can review it if you'd like to hold it for a week, unless Ken knows something about it.
And I guess my question is, out of town dealer, and it looks like our local Lancaster County dealer did have the best bid, so there may be an explanation. That's what I needed to know.
Ken Schroeder, County Engineer's Office. I did just a little bit of research before. My understanding is that the utility boxes were cheaper from a Hastings supplier. Our office has used that supplier to equip other vehicles, so we don't have a problem with that, but it was a savings of $1,000 what I talked with our shop personnel. So it's gonna go to Hastings to get retrofitted with the utility boxes and then to us. But my understanding is it's $1,000 per box cheaper to retrofit it with our utility boxes.
And did Husker Auto Group have the same opportunity to choose that box too, the way that it looks like Mid-States didn't submit a bid. It looks like LCL out of Hastings did, and Matt Friend out of Hastings submitted a bid too. Both of those are suppliers that we've worked with before, and you're right, both of those boxes are good boxes.
I don't have that bid information with me, but when I checked with the shop, it was a savings of about $1,000 per box, and Hastings, the supplier there, is somebody that we've worked with, and it's just a little delay in time, I think. But I would imagine they had the same opportunity.
That's what I would think. Well, according to our figures that are presented to us, it's a $1,000 about right at $1,000, $800 cheaper to go with the Lancaster County supplier, and that's what I'd like to have an explanation.
Well, I'm gonna have to find out if all the accessories and the configuration was identical what they submitted.
And then the brands, I think we don't always have to take the lowest bid. I certainly understand that, but the most responsible bid, and I think we need to also take a look at residual value of these units when they do come off. I mean, certain brands do sell better than others.
I'll check and get back with you. I know that the way we have them fixed up for our survey and construction people, there are some components of the utility boxes that are different and just works better for our.
Yeah, and I don't have a question about the boxes. It's just the vehicle.
Yeah.
That's my main concern. So I would ask the board to hold this for a week if it's not super critical. I would move that we delay this item for 1 week.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we delay this recommendation for 1 week. Any discussion?
I have a
Yes.
question.
Mhm.
Who makes the decision on which bid gets selected?
The department makes a recommendation to us that we then forward on to you.
Who in the department makes the decision?
Well, I'd be our,
Likely.
probably Bill in our shop, or,
Not the county engineer?
well, it would be under her direction.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be reviewed by our department, and then the recommendation would be given to you.
Well, that's the reason we're asking for more information.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
fine.
probably
I'll have to do some
fine, but
checking
we
before I-
we just need to know, so.
Okay.
Here she is.
Mhm.
Here, we've got your, do you,
Do you-
she's here. Do you want to talk about it now?
Oh, okay.
We're in discussion. We're in discussion.
You want to just share the details of how you got them to be low? Or do you have that? Do we just hold it for a minute and we come
Okay.
back to it, or is that fine?
Okay, why don't we do that? Okay, we will just delay item D for further clarification, and let's go on to item E.
4E is a recommendation from the purchasing agent and Youth Services Center to extend the contract for medical services with correctional healthcare companies for an additional 1-year term beginning July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, with a CPI increase of 2.75%. Excuse me. Total cost of the extended contract term with the increase is $210,828.
Bob Walla, purchasing agent. I just wanted to clarify on this. This contract was out of renewals, and therefore it is being extended rather than renewed. This company is the same company that the adult facility uses. There was a buyout in the middle of this, so we thought it was in our best interest to extend this contract 1 more year, and then it would be in the same term as the adult facility. And when we do a new RFP, we can do it for both of the entities at that time.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, Bill, you had a question?
Yeah, I presume you went to the Bureau of Labor Statistics to get the CPI number?
Correct. It's for the Midwest region.
It's my understanding that we were much lower than 2.75.
I was too.
Medical services, professional, I think, or management. I can't remember which one it was, but one was 2.7.
This is a sector CPI.
Right. One
Okay.
was 2.75 and one was actually 3.75. So we were able to use the lower one.
Right, it's not the overall index, it's a specific piece of that index.
Yeah. The overall index was only 0.9, I believe, for
Right,
this last
yeah.
year, but we have to go by a specific
Sectors.
category.
Gotcha.
Medical, yeah.
And of course, this is in the field of, it's in the medical field, right? Which of course would be higher, always is.
Right, I think, I don't know, it was last year or the year before, we actually had a decrease based on the CPI index that we actually use, so this year it happened to be higher.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. F is an amendment to County Contract C-11-252 with Correct Care Solutions LLC for healthcare services. For Lancaster County Department of Corrections, the amendment increases the management fee by 2.75% for the period of June 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, and provides the anticipated cost to the county for medical care during the 2016-2017 contract year. The amendment also harmonizes the contract's term with the county's fiscal year.
Move approval?
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to the county contract with Correct Care Solutions. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, yes.
Okay. Judy Halstead, Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department. I'm testifying in a neutral capacity on this contract. The reason I'm doing so is because I just wanted to get on record with the board that we have attempted in the past to work with adult corrections on coordination of inmates that are getting dismissed or discharged from the correction facility to provide a continuity of care for them, particularly in the area of diabetes. We've had a project for the last 3 years to connect individuals to glucometers, test strips, insulin, and also to access the diabetes specialty clinic through Clinic with the Heart until they can get into a medical home. These are for uninsured individuals. We are now moving forward with applying for an additional grant to try to now target the inmates who are being released from the correctional system. And the reason that I come before you today is not to ask you to change the contract in any way, but just to be aware of the fact that we're doing this and that we would really want to, and we are renewing our commitment to work with county corrections. The reason I say that is because if an individual leaves corrections, has diabetes, they don't have a way to pay for their test strips and their insulin, they end up being in a situation where they can't get a job, can't keep a job. They end up on general assistance because they have acute incident with their diabetes. We're back to that cycle again. And so all I'm doing is just getting on the record that obviously as we move forward with this program that we want to continue and rebuild a relationship with county corrections, and we are just bringing that to your attention because as we get that grant and as we move forward, we want to be able to have those inmates be released so that we can help provide that continuity of care.
Todd?
Would that program include the state facilities as well?
We are willing to reach out to that, but our primary right now is the county programs, and obviously because if we don't have that collaboration, those patients potentially become GA patients when they don't need to be, and that becomes the release of the county residents to Lancaster County, and GA becomes the payer then for them. We certainly would be willing to work with the Penn and looking at the state correction facilities. It's a bigger population. Not all of those necessarily are Lancaster County residents. So
And that was
we
kind
were
of
really focusing on Lancaster County.
thinking was if you could somehow identify those inmates coming out of the state facility who would be relocating in Lancaster County to target that population, because obviously, but I think if you have successful outcomes with county corrections, I think you could maybe move on to.
You bet. And a lot of it's going to depend on how much we're funded. Currently, we have a community health endowment grant that does pay for test strips, glucometers, insulin, metformin for some that are on those oral medications. For individuals who are uninsured, who need that service, we connect them to the diabetes specialty clinic. They can go there at least for 3 months as they're waiting to get into People's Health Center or another care provider. We just have not had great cooperation from county corrections in the past to work with us on that. And so we're just asking and getting on the record now, moving forward, that obviously we're trying to target specifically these individuals getting released back to Lancaster County so we can save on the GA side. So just wanted to be on record. I'm not voicing an opinion at all about the contractor that you have before you. Just want you to know that we're trying to collaborate. So thank you.
Appreciate your efforts.
Thanks.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to the county contract. Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Hudgens,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. G is a contract between Yost Excavating, Inc. and Lancaster County on behalf of the Lancaster County Engineer for channel repair of Bridge H207. Repairs will commence on May 9, 2016 and conclude by September 2nd, 2016. Cost of the county is $137,244.44.
Ken Schroeder, County Engineer's Office. This is a bridge that was damaged in last year's flooding, and it's not in the budget, but it is approved by FEMA for 75% reimbursement. So I guess I just wanted to point that out.
And I would move approval because we need to move forward with this.
It's the bridge that's about 3 miles north and 2 east of Waverly.
Waverly,
Right here
on 162nd.
Yeah.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this contract.
And don't leave yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bill?
Where are you gonna get the other 25%?
Well, 12.5% of it would be state reimbursement, but that's only if the money's, when it's available. And then the rest of it, we're just gonna have to come up with local.
Supplemental request?
I'm gonna have to check with Pam where she's gonna get the money for that. There's many bridges that need repair.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any further questions? All right, please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4H is utility permit number 1417, allowing Windstream Communications to install new fiber optics from the Malcolm office to the Garland Exchange. There is no cost to the county.
Move approval.
Second.
Good morning. This is just a utility permit from Windstream Communications to install a fiber optic cable just outside of Malcolm underneath State Spur 77 or 55 with Norris Public Power, Village of Malcolm, then going north on 112 up to, I believe it's Waverly Road and west into Seward County.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this permit number 1417. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. I is utility permit number 1418, allowing Windstream Communications to install new fiber optics in the area of West Davie Road, North 27th Street, North 40th Street, and Little Salt Road. There is no cost to the county.
Once again, it's a build out of fiber optics cable going from Davie Road on 27th Street north to, I believe it's Rock Creek Road, and no cost to the county.
Move approval.
Second.
Move and seconded that we approve utility permit 1418. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. J is an interlocal agreement between the City of Lincoln on behalf of the Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department and Lancaster County on behalf of the Lancaster County Corrections Community Service Program to conduct roadside litter pickup along county roads by inmates. The city will pay the county based on $50 per mile of roadside litter pickup not to exceed $5,000 for the period of May 1st, 2016 to December 31st, 2016. Depending on available funding, the parties may agree in writing to provide an additional $2,500 in funding.
Judy Halstead, Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department. This is the, we believe, 13th year that we have entered into this interlocal agreement. The City Council has approved this. And just as a reminder, this is grant dollars specifically for this cleanup. Inmates are not paid. Only the supervisor, who is an employee of corrections, who is there on site with the inmates to pick up the litter, is paid, and we help reimburse that. We appreciate the county's willingness to be flexible on the dollar amount. If we have, the way we've worked this in the past and the way we will work it this year, is if we have any grant funds that are unexpended in other areas, we potentially would have up to an additional $2,500. And we really appreciate corrections in their work on this. They do a great job, and we are just asking for your approval.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this interlocal agreement. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4K is a contract between Acuity Specialty Products doing business as ZEP Inc. and the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County to provide comprehensive operational and janitorial supplies solutions. Term of the contract is from the date of execution through April 30th, 2019. Cost of county is not to exceed $7,000.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this contract with Acuity Special Products. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. L is a contract between One Source, the background check company, the City of Lincoln, and Lancaster County to provide employment and volunteer background investigation services. Term of the contract is from the date of execution through October 17th, 2016, with the option for one additional one-year renewal. Cost of county is not to exceed $1,500.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this contract. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. M is a contract between Jim Peterson Auction Company, the City of Lincoln, and Lancaster County to provide auction services to dispose of unclaimed and abandoned property. The term of the contract is May 28th, 2016 through May 27th, 2017. The county agrees to pay the auctioneer's fee in the amount of 10% of gross sales not to exceed $5,000.
Move approval. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve this contract with the Jim Peterson Auction Company. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4N is a contract between Encompass, the City of Lincoln, the Lincoln Lancaster County Public Building Commission, and Lancaster County for the annual supply of sit-to-stand workstations. The total is not to exceed $8,000 between both contracted vendors. This is Encompass and Payless Office Products.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this contract for the sit-to-stand workstations. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. O is a contract between Payless Office Products, the City of Lincoln, and the Lincoln Lancaster County Public Building Commission and Lancaster County for the annual supply of sit-stand workstations. The total cost is not to exceed $8,000 between both contracted vendors.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this contract with Payless Office Products. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. P is a contract between Schmader Electric Construction, Inc. and Lancaster County to provide and install an outdoor warning siren. The total cost of the contract is $26,575.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this contract with Schmader Electric Construction Company in Lancaster County. Any discussion?
We were briefed on this by Director David Saber.
Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4Q is a third addendum to the Lancaster County Visitors Improvement Fund grant contract between Lancaster County and Abbott Sports Complex, Abbott Motocross Park, to amend County Contract C-15-250 to extend the grant term from May 31st, 2016 to September 1st, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this third addendum. Any discussion?
We were briefed on this. I
Yes.
believe, last week.
Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. R is an amendment to County Contract C-14-412 with Gray Bar Electric for the annual supply of household miscellaneous batteries. The estimated cost will increase $100 for the remainder of the contract for a total amount of $1,100.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this contract with Graybar Electric. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. S is an amendment to County Contract C-14-377 with Concrete Industries for the annual supply of asphaltic joint sealant in the amount of $8,000 for the remainder of the current term for a total of $14,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to county contract with Concrete Industries. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we do have an item D. Is there any further resolution to that? You what? Okay, we're gonna hold it for a week.
We have
So
a
I
motion.
renewed my motion that
Okay.
we hold it for a week.
We have two motions. We have one to approve and one to delay.
The motion to hold for 1 week is a superior motion, which would go over the regular one.
Well, it's been moved and seconded that we delay for 1 week then. Is there any further discussion?
So we're not voting on the first motion.
No, you don't, because it supersedes it.
Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Next is number 5, public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on agenda may do so at this time.
Gary Aldridge, Lincoln, Nebraska. I believe you're tabling the motion, is that correct?
No, we held it for 1 week, which is a table, yes.
If my figures are correct, I have rounded, the county board today has authorized and/or appropriated expenditures of $775,000. Do I suspect these expenditures are unnecessary and/or rash? Trust can be fragile. It is, after all, the responsibility or fiducial duty or obligation of an elected board, body, commission to handle tax money well and wisely. Nothing more, nothing less. So as not to be unmoored from reality, I define $775,000 another way. Value of average residential property in Lancaster County is $164.5K. $164,500. The owners of average value residential property, for their own safety's sake, shovel $458 per annum to Lancaster County for operations. $775,000 authorized and appropriated here today are all taxes paid on average value residential property in Lancaster County by 1,692 property owners. 1,692. With no great risk of being ignored, that happens, I again say taxes are an essential obligation of citizenship. You cannot be all things to all people at all times. There are limits. Some see silliness in budgets. A public official never engaged by citizens who describe some spending as silly, that public official is either a tyro or hermit. Every public dollar begins a budget cycle private. In your pocket, in my pocket, in the pocket of that guy behind the tree. As the boys at Monty Python may say, now for something completely different. I attended at East High Saturday last a gathering of disparate individuals, more or less connected by a somewhat common theme. Some individuals were recognized by name, including, but not limited to, Dan Nolte and Bill Avery. I saw Nolte. I did not see Avery. In a democracy with a Republican form of government, from time to time there are elections. In elections, sometimes my guy wins, and sometimes the other guy wins. Ain't democracy beautiful? The public sector does not always function in theory as it should. That failure to function or failure to communicate, think Strother Martin in Cool Hand Luke, that failure was expressed at this microphone Tuesday last. A Lancaster County resident was vexed. Vex, to distress, afflict, or plague. As a coin has different aspects, in this dispute, perhaps neither, citizen or government, is completely misfeasant or completely blameless. The only recourse may be a bully pulpit.
Okay, well, thank you for your comments.
Next is number 6, announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold departmental budget meetings beginning Tuesday, May 24th, 2016 at 1 p.m. in the Bill Luxford studio of the County City Building. The meeting will be continued to the following dates. Wednesday, May 25th, 2016 at 8 a.m. in room 303, Thursday, May 26, 2016 at 1 p.m., and Tuesday, May 31st, 2016 at 1:30 p.m. in the Bill Luxford Studio. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, May 26, 2016 at 8:30 a.m. in the Bill Luxford Studio of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold their next regular meeting on Tuesday, May 31st, 2016 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building, with the Board of Equalization immediately following. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live. It is rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. In addition, the meeting may be viewed on the internet at lancaster.ne.gov under 5 City TV Video on Demand or 5 City TV on YouTube.
Move adjourn.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we adjourn. Please call the roll.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Board of Commissioners meeting is adjourned, and let's move on then to the Board of Equalization.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Also in attendance this morning is Scott Gaines from the County Assessor's Office. Agenda item are minutes. Approve the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, May 17th, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of last week's Board of Equalization meeting. Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Abstain.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 abstention. Number 2 are additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
Move approval of the additions and deductions.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 is a public hearing. This is regarding motor vehicle tax exemption applications for Family Service Association of Lincoln, First Slavic Baptist Church, Lancaster County Child Guidance Center, and St. Teresa Church.
Okay, I will now open the public hearing for the motor vehicle tax exemption applications. Is there anyone to speak in support of, in opposition to, or in a neutral position? And seeing none, I will close the public hearing.
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the motor vehicle tax exemption applications. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 4 is public comment. Those wishing to speak to items relating to County Board of Equalization business not on agenda, we do so at this time.
I move adjournment.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adjourn. Please call the roll.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.